just finished my first retainer consulting gig. I think I said that right. So I was contracted for 6 months for an organization in California to help them design and implement a culturally tailored diabetes self-management education program. Very niche specific population. I'm not even going to get into all that in this particular video because I still need to kind of wrap my head around kind of how the project went and the outcomes of the project. But I did neglect or I wasn't interested in trying to work with them any further. So I did my 6 months, and normally I'll upsell or try to do something like that, but I did not this time. Now, again, this was my first retainer contract. So for those of you that may not be familiar with a retainer contract, think of it as, when you have legal services, right? You have a lawyer. I'll just kind of use my lawyer. If I retain her, I pay her like $2,500 for 3 months. I retain her for those 3 months. During those 3 months, I have access to her via, telephone. Maybe there's 1 or 2 Zoom meetings a month, unlimited email access, different things like that. Okay. So that's what a retainer contract is. This is where I messed up with my retainer contract, but this is how you live, you learn. So there's a couple of ways you can do retainer contracts. There's one way that's called pay for work, and there is another way that's called pay for access. That's traditionally the type of retainer, the pay for access, that your lawyer will utilize when working with you. What I did in my retainer contract was pay for work, which started off really, really great. Again, this was a 6-month contract. They retained me for 10 hours per month, up to 10 hours per month per the contract at a rate of $150. So that was their budget, which is fine. I could develop a diabetes program or really any kind of health education program. I always say with both arms behind my back and one eye closed. But the problem with having a pay for work retainer contract up to a certain amount of hours is you're not always needed for all of those hours. And so, I just quit my job. I think I was, a full-time entrepreneur for maybe 30 days. Oh, wait a minute. I'm almost at a year. So, okay, it was about 5 months into being a full-time entrepreneur. I was super duper excited. Like, oh, my first retainer contract. Like, somebody's retaining me for 10 hours a month, not realizing it was up to 10 hours a month. But I'm like, okay, this is a cool $1,500 every month. Don't even have to really think about it. I already have most of the resources. I already have most of the information. Again, it's my wheelhouse. It's what I've done for years. As a public health practitioner, as a registered nurse, a certified diabetes care and education specialist, no problem at all. And the first month, it was beautiful. Right at 9-10 hours, got my money, no issue. Second month, worked beautifully. 9-10 hours, got my money, no problem. I noticed by the third month, because there were some, organizational changes and people were quitting and the program wasn't going the way it was supposed to. There was a whole bunch of, kind of pauses and hiccups. Well, that affected our ability to meet. That affected my ability to consult with them. In turn, it affected my ability to charge up to 10 hours for the services that I was supposed to be providing for them, for the TA and the consulting. And so around month 3, I noticed, I'm like, oh, I only billed for like 5 hours this month. Well, that kind of sucks, whatever. And I thought, well, they're having some hiccups. They've got some internal challenges. This is, going to iron itself out. But the next month it was worse. And the next month it was about the same. And I remember, was it last month? 2 months ago, we only met twice because we had bi-weekly meetings with the point of contact with the program manager. And when I went to because I try to do all of my invoices for my clients at the end of the month, if I if you remember. And when I went to invoice, I'm like, this is just 2 hours. Like, I'm not gonna send an invoice for 2 hours. And so I realized in that moment, and why it took me that many months to figure it out, I don't know. I think just doing too much and moving too fast, that I had set myself up on the wrong type of retainer contract. I know now, instead of the pay for work model, the best model that's going to ensure I have consistent revenue is going to be the model that my lawyer uses. It's going to be the model that my CPA uses, where it is the same amount of money every single month, regardless if you send me emails, regardless if you schedule meetings, regardless if I'm, providing a service or a deliverable. And that is the pay for access model. Meaning, okay, I could have told them, hey, I've got 10 consulting hours for you. Those 10 hours get you 2 meetings per month, unlimited emails, and I don't know, whatever else I wanted to put in that package. And if they canceled those meetings because of people, quitting or going on vacation or whatever that is, if the program changed, which ended up changing too many times, no matter what would have happened internally in the organization, it would not have impacted my bottom line. So I did not really maximize how much I wanted to make off that particular client. I do think if the relationship has not been severed, there is an opportunity, that I could probably pitch my services to them again in the future if that's something that I chose to do. But I now will know that if I do that, I will not be doing the pay for the pay for work model. It will be the pay for access. And then I have one caveat before I end this video. I'm not sure how pay for access would work with a brand new client. I think you may have to initially do the pay for work with a brand new client, and then once they see how you work and you operate, then you can go to pay for access. But I'm going to try it. My next opportunity for retainer, I can't even say it, retainer contract, I'm actually going to try it. And as always, I'll let y'all know how it goes. So anyway, lessons learned, no harm, no foul. Was able to, salvage the relationship and serve the client and sent them the customer satisfaction survey and got good reviews and testimonials. So that's not a problem, but I just did not maximize how much I could have made off of that contract because I didn't know. And if you have not registered for Build, Launch, and Scale Your Public Health Consulting Business, go ahead and do that. That's next Wednesday, June 14th at 6 p.m. I'm excited to share some more of these jewels and things that I've learned since I've been doing this for about 3.5 years now. It is fun. It is exhilarating. It is scary as hell. And I love every single moment of it. So I'm really excited to share just some things I've learned along the way.